You haven't thought about something? Well, I'm here to help you think about Tony Little and the Gazelle fitness machine. I'm here to help you. Remember. Another thing I got for what is now going to be our fitness room, formerly known as the living room, now the fitness room. I got one of those daylight lights, the light therapy light sad light. It's a seasonal affective disorder is the actual thing, and it's called sad. It's for the winter. It's a light to put it in there because it was recommended to me that it's good to use while you're exercising in the winter when it's dark and cold. Like if you're gonna be on a treadmill, you put on one of those bitches. We don't. We didn't ever. We didn't ever veg in the living room. Like when we watch TV, we watch TV in the bedroom. Our TV is in the bedroom, and lay in bed, and then our kitchen table is in the kitchen, and that's where we eat. The living room had couches in it, but we didn't ever really go in there. Legitimately, the person who used the living room the most is Nova the dog. Like he lounges on the couch in there more than anybody. So we had two couches. We had like a love seat and like a long couch, and we got rid of one of them. So Nova still has a couch. Nobody panic. Nova still has a couch just pushed up against the wall, and then the middle of the room and the bulk of the room will be the treadmill and the not Bowflex. And so Nova can watch us work out while he lounges on the couch that is left over. And then we got rid of the other couch and like the coffee table. We had like a traditional living room setup where we had like the couches that make like an L, and then the coffee table, and then I have one of those like electric fireplaces that's, you know what I mean? I can't have visual aid. The electric fireplace that's not built into the wall, it's in like a fake wooden fireplace, and then it's got like basically a space heater that has a LED fake fire. So I have one of those. I had a whole just living room set up, and nobody ever fucking went in there except the dog. Like the only person who went in there is the dog. So like one of these guys right here, where it's like a wooden frame, although not nearly this fancy, a wooden frame, and then it's got the fake fire, and then it's got a blower where it blows out heat. I call it the Amish fireplace. That's what my mom's always called it. So that's what I call it, is the Amish fireplace. But I still have one of those. And that's still in there because that room is the coldest room in the house. So in the winter, sometimes it needs a little extra heat. So the Amish fireplace is in there. But yeah, I had this whole like traditional looking living room, and nobody ever went in there. So now it's going to be a fitness room. Because our computers are upstairs. My computer's in this room. Meat Yards is in the other room. Our bedroom is where the TV is, and we eat in the kitchen. So, like, nobody fucking went in that room, like, at all. So maybe now it'll get a little more use being a fitness room. I don't know why it's called an Amish fireplace. That's what my mom calls it. She has another one. And she, like, she still calls it the Amish fireplace, so that's what I call it. That's what this stream is. This stream is things that Kiyeberries doesn't know the name of and just calls them things, like the Bowflex and the Amish fireplace. My thought with it being called the Amish fireplace is that the wooden frame around it is like supposedly like really high quality and like built by the Amish woodworkers, and then they just stick the electric box in it. I don't think that's actually true, but I think that's where the name comes from. But I will ask my mom why we call it the Amish fireplace. We just do.
This galaxy shall suffer.
There was a thread on Reddit a while ago, but I think of it at times like this, and it was about like things in your family that your family has a name for, or a thing your family has that nobody else has, and it's really weird. The Reddit famous one was the guy with the poop knife. If you've ever on Reddit seen a poop knife referenced, like all families have something like that. Like I guess for us it's the Amish fireplace. Poop knife guy. And now you're like, what's the poop knife? Well, too long didn't read for this guy's story. His family took massive shits that would always clog up the toilet. So they kept a knife, like a long knife, in the bathroom to break up the shits before they flushed. And he didn't realize that not everybody does that. He didn't realize that he was the only person's family that does that. So he went to a friend's house and took a big poop and asked for their poop knife. And they're like, what the fuck is a poop knife? And that was like a crazy story that came up in this thread of what's something that your family does that no other family does. And his family had a poop knife. We have an Amish fireplace.
Combat begins shortly.
Mine's mostly phrasing, though, because my grandpa comes up with weird and unique phrases and names for everything. Maybe it's where I get it from. But, like, my grandpa doesn't ever say Burger King. He calls it the Burger Whopper, and you're just supposed to know what that means. So if you're just meeting him for the first time and you're like, oh, yeah, where did you eat? The Burger Whopper. The fuck is the Burger Whopper? There's a grocery store chain in the Midwest called Shop and Save, and he calls them Stop and Shop. Why? No one knows, but he does. So it's just, he's going to the Stop and Shop, but you know that means Shop and Save. McDonald's is Mickey D's, which I think that one is a little more common. I've heard other people say Mickey D's, but we also say the Mickey D's. I say all of this with love and affection, too. My grandpa is the most amazing person in the entire world.
I am renewed, servant.
Without reservation.
I used to go with my grandpa to the grocery store. My grandpa's one of those people, and my mom is also one of those people. I did not inherit in this gene where they're like mega early risers, like wake up at 4:30 in the morning. So my grandpa would read all of the sales ads and then go to the grocery stores the nanosecond they opened, like waiting outside the Stop and Shop for them to open. And one time, one of the butcher places had like a sale on ribeye steaks, and he bought so much ribeye steak that part of the sale was if you spent like, I think it was something like $200 on steaks, they would give you a steak knife. And he did. It was on sale. He bought all this steak. We had a big cookout. It was great, and he got the steak knife. I have the steak knife now. It was given to me. And literally every time we speak, he asks me, you still got the steak knife? How's the steak knife holding up? And I'm like, it's good. It's a really good knife. It is a really good knife. It's like a really high quality, heavy knife. But we in our like weekly or twice weekly phone call, how's the steak knife holding up? It's good.
Choose a talent.
One year for Christmas, as a gag gift, I got him his own steak knife that matches it. So then I'm like, and how's your steak knife doing? Oh, it's good. Is it good enough to be a poop knife? I don't think it's long enough. The way the guy in the story described the poop knife, he described it being like a long, like almost like a machete, so that they could stick it in there and break up the poop. But it's a poop sword. But he still called it the poop knife. I don't know, man. I don't know this person in real life. It's one of those like stories on Reddit that became like Reddit famous or like Reddit lore. So you'll see it referenced if you read Reddit as much as I do, especially. You'll see it referenced, like someone will say, and they have a poop knife, and you're like, what are you talking about? And that is what they're talking about. Another one that's really Reddit famous, but way grosser, is if they talk about a coconut. Specifically, if it's about a guy being gross or a guy being like sleazy. they'll ask if he has his coconut or if he brought his coconut. That's another Reddit famous story. It's a gross one though. It's really gross. I don't think Meatyard would let me tell it on stream. It's actually that gross.
Well done. Service has its rewards.
It's kind of hard for me with Alexstrasza pre-7 since I don't have my life blossom yet. So it's okay to give the first one or even two, but the first one for sure, because I don't have the sustain that I'll have later in the game.
Must I really remind you?
That I'll have right now. Alexstrasza got buffed in the little balance patch that came out yesterday. It's like all of the buffs from yesterday were pretty small.
The tribute.
But Alexstrasza's in particular was just like a quality of life buff. The max cast range on her W was increased. You can see it's a little bit bigger. And the reasoning for that was in the past, if she placed her W at like max distance and then ran at it, she could actually run through it before it popped. So you see how it popped right as I was traveling through? Previously, it would pop behind her and she wouldn't get the heal if she kept running through. So they made the distance a little bit farther so that if you place it max distance and then run straight at it, it will pop while you're running through it. Small quality of life change for Alexstrasza. Probably affects W build more than anything, but for all builds, it just makes W better, particularly if you're chasing. Either if you're chasing forward or if you're running backwards, it makes using the W better and easier, so that's a thing. We never ever play W build. W build itself was buffed, not yesterday, but the balance patch previous to this. But like, imagine playing W build. What's up, Rima? How are you?
Clumsy display.
I will not face death alone. I lack the mana required.
I'm gonna go get mana.
I shall return.
What's up, Gret? How are you? What ult am I gonna take? I'm kind of feeling like I want to fly away. I wanna fly away. You're about pizza. I'm jealous. You adopted a cat today? Grima, this is the first game. Tell us about your cat right now. I want to hear cat stories. We should probably skip. It's not a curse and they're level 10. There's no reason. Like, we'll just die. Just soak. Get 10. Try to get even on XP for the next one. Because we don't want them to be 13 and us not at the next one. What's up, Fuji? Tomorrow teammate Fuji. How are you? Are you ping? Another thing they did that I didn't even think of, but I am noticing literally right now, I'm out with Lifebinder. They updated the portrait for Deathwing. So previously Deathwing was using his artwork from Hearth? Question mark. Similar to like when May came out, they were using like literally a screen grab from Overwatch and then they added in her painted portrait later. They did the same thing for Deathwing. He was using either it was the Cataclysm box art picture or it was his Hearthstone picture. I don't remember which. That was a really bad time to lose Chromie, but she'll be back. But either way, they made him a unique portrait thing for Here's the Storm. So. So he's no longer using borrowed art. He has his own art. It's very nice. Yeah, it's kind of like a side profile, so it's not just 100% jawbone or jaw armor, I guess, in Deathwing's case. I like the picture. I think it looks good.
An inadequate sacrifice.
She's a 5-year-old Blue Point Siamese named, how do you say that? Yvette? Yeah, cats in a new environment do take time to open up. Dogs too, actually. What a good name and a good cat. I'm excited for you. I like cats. I like animals. Cool. We took that fort. It looks like we'll get mid as well.
So much for their fortifications. Well done.
There's a lot of dragons in this game. Chromie, Alexstrasza, and Deathwing. I think the only dragon we're missing is Chromie. Or is Brightwing. Fairy dragon would count.
Choose a talent.
Hanzo and Genji and like Lily summon dragons, but characters whom star dragons, I think we're only missing. You could pacify Deathwing, right? Neato. Alright, we got the curse. So we can back up a little. That was some really good zoning from Leoric and Chromie. I didn't actually even see where New Barak was for any of that, but... Not here, lol. He was doing something. Oh god. Ah, get this dragon away from me! No, Deathwing, I don't like you, bad touch, leave me alone! Okay, I'm fine.
Remain loyal here.
We're kind of all spread out and being weird. Ow, why are you doing this, Ether? What the... Alright, Leoric just like, get fucked.
I expected that much earlier. Destroy.
This was good. This was a fun curse. Ow! Li Ming Orb.
I would have delivered the killing blow by now.
Well, that was good. Chromie might be deceased. I'll try to. I'm coming. Okay, like you are fine. You are safe. You are good. Leoric is like, I'm gonna get him. Let her die. Don't save her. Oh no. That's mean. She was easy to save.
Service has its rewards.
Leo, though, I don't know if he can back it up. Have you ever shrunk a dragon? Because I have, just now. All right. Okay, lady, I don't know what more you want from me.
Perhaps the correct talent this time.
I mean, we saved her and then she just stayed. You're not Leoric, okay? Just because Leoric can stay, girl, doesn't mean you can stay. He's Leoric. He's a ghost. It's okay, though. We got Deathwing, so we got the revenge kill. Revenge is ours! Shh, we can go do boss. Yeah, basically when the delivery comes, we will have to bring Nox in here and put him in his crate and then mute the microphone because he'll scream the entire time they're here. So, oh, look at the passing around. My Mind Control was buffed on Sylvanas as a minor buff, and honestly, I don't think it's, like, good. Or at least it's not better than Wailing Arrow, right? That's the thing. It's hard to buff Mind Control to make it competitive with Wailing Arrow, because Wailing Arrow is really strong. But you'll probably see more of it because it was just buffed, so expect people to take it more. You can check out my blog on Heroes Hearth for my too long didn't read breakdown of the hero change balance patch. It's basically where they buffed or nerfed. That's all I'll tell you. If you want to know more, you have to click the patch notes. Okay. What do we want to do? Do we want to take their boss? That could be a productive use of our time. They have one dead and they're defending top. Okay, or we could not. We could just do this camp probably. I don't know what to consider what they did to Anubarak. Was it a buff? I don't know. I think it was meant to be a buff, but whatever's going on with Anubarak's level 20, I don't know. We lack knowledge. Also, Lunara's Q build changes. I don't know what that was supposed to be. I think that was supposed to be a buff as well, but kind of confusing to me as someone who doesn't actually play Luna, so I don't know. Leoric level 20 changes were supposed to be a buff as well, but they're kind of weird because they still compete with Buried Alive. Similar to these Sylvanas buffs for Mind Control. I mean, no one's gonna take Mind Control when Wailing Arrow exists. With Leoric, nobody's gonna take any of his other 20s when Buried Alive exists. Unless, of course, you're Glogan. And you do whatever the fuck you want. Or Turk, for that matter. Did they fix the Kerrigan bug? Yes, actually. Undocumented change as well. Undocumented in the patch notes, but the Kerrigan bug was fixed, and she is allowed back in competitive play. Oh my gosh, I was sick all weekend and I'm getting a lot better, but my nose is still like, nah. This has been a fun game for me. I haven't played an Alexstrasza game in several days as well. I've pretty much played only Brightwing and a little Stukov. So getting to play our girl was fun. And then also be like winning, that was fun. Oh, Jesus. My girl, you. Decisions. Okay, but that was good. I had an enjoyable time.
Surprise.
How you guys doing with the Elegaius shard event in Raid Shadow Legends? By the way, I hit level 60 in Raid Shadow Legends today, and they are trying to sell me the most ridiculously overpriced level 60 pack, and I'm like, fuck off. But I'm at 65 out of 100 for Elegaius. How are you guys, Ella, doing? Yeah, that was good. That made me happy.